So here we are back just a few seconds after the other one. Of course, this come out the next day. And yeah, so hair out my fucking mouth. I ain't did anything to my hair. I'm looking rough. I'm gonna try to dye it again tonight. Still a little black, but in the sun, it kind of has that brown look to it, you know. But my hair is naturally like this, all curly and shit. And sometimes I straighten it and stuff like that. And it's really thick too. Um, It's actually like shaved into like a mohawk and stuff like that. And even with that, and that chicken just flew high. It didn't have to get up on the truck and then get over. It flew all the way up the tree. But so anyways, though, that way it just kind of thins it out, makes it a little easier to fuck with. But it goes down probably close to halfway to my back now, which is the longest I've ever had my hair, which is nice. I started growing it as soon as I left my construction job and started working from home. And of course, obviously, if anybody's watching these other ones, know I'm working all the time, but it's for myself now, trying to get everything set up for that. But anyways, gonna smoke another one while I kind of tell these stories and get some updates. So the story I wanted to get into in the last video, but I didn't get the time to, and I was just gonna make a separate one because I didn't want the other one to drag out and kind of have, you know, a two-parter on it. By the way, one of these days I want to make another one of them hour-long videos. Have to be a little bit warmer and get the kerosene heater going or something like I did that for those couple and stuff. But we'll just kind of talk about anything and everything. But the big update that happened, you know, I'm talking about watching the chickens and stuff like that in this video and the last one. By the way, the donkey's right here, so it's only a matter of time before he starts praying. But because the fence probably just 10 foot away, you know. Anyways, I was cleaning out from underneath the corn crib, which is what I'm going to turn to the recording studio. Here comes Buddy. Hey, buddy. What you doing? Like them treats earlier? Yeah. He's cute. He always wiggles his ears whenever you talk to him. But anyways, clean out from underneath the corn crib and stuff like that. It just has like a bunch of old lumber. Some of it I've brought in. Some of it was here whenever we got the place. Most of it that's been here is just rotted and bad and stuff like that. So I'm throwing out the burn, and the good stuff I'm keeping. I'm going to put it up in the barn with the rest of the good lumber and stuff. And just kind of getting it sorted out because we jacked it up around the four corners and put one in the middle on the long side. And I need to get up and put it in the actual middle of the place. Some little things for it and stuff like that, because it was just on like some rotted ass stumps and everything like that. But we put actual block underneath it because we're going to turn it into a recording studio, because we're going to finally, after all these years, make our black metal music that we want to and stuff. And really just kind of taking our time, having fun with it. I've got a little bit of like some soundproofing and stuff for the drums. That's my main instrument that I like playing and stuff. And of course I'm going to be presumably playing the guitar and possibly the bass as well. My wife's going to do the vocals and stuff. And I've learned some on the guitar. I'm not big in on it, but we'll figure it out though. But whatever. Kind of waited around forever to get a guitarist and stuff like that. And eventually just like, fuck it, I'm just going to have to learn some shit so we can do this, you know. At some point, if we get one, that'd be fucking great. But I have to kind of align with our vision, you know. Anyways, just kind of cleaning out some stuff. And I seen some chicken feathers around. Of course, our chickens, they run around every day and go up at night. I was like, well, you know, one of them could have rested around during there. They kind of like have their nap time and stuff like that. It's kind of secluded a little bit. And, you know, I just see chicken feathers everywhere. Like, it's no biggie, just a few. But then I got to notice, damn, I seen a lot more. And I pulled out one board and stuff. It was actually an old gutter, had a board attached to it. Looked like they just went to bat, maybe. So that was a little cold for them. Of course, it might have been a bird, real quick. Anyways, and it had like some pretty fresh blood on it. I was like, oh fuck. So I looked down there, and because I was just kind of up here pulling, out from underneath. But then I got down there and looked, and hell, it was like some type of hawk. I know everybody calls them chicken hawks, but honestly, I was looking that up to see what it was like afterwards and stuff like that. And I guess that's just a term that people call them, but that could actually be a few different ones. Um, anyways, it had killed my rooster and was had his back all laid open and was eating on him and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit. So I usually keep a little pistol and stuff in the side by side, but which I had it there with me because I was loading junk up on the trailer and stuff for it to haul off. And of course, anytime I ever need anything, I ain't got it. So I ran all the way back to the house, had to kick my boots off, go upstairs, and I've got like a little path in there now because we got some junk in my room and shit upstairs where I keep all my shit. And got my little 22 pistol, and which is just one of them like little $100 Rough Riders or whatever the fuck they call them, like a little single action. It's supposed to kind of resemble like a cowboy gun or something like that. Some people say they're fucking toys, which they're most definitely not. And in all honesty, I've probably used that thing more than any of the other ones, other than maybe just shotgun or whatever, just for around here for stuff because it's super handy, and you ain't got to worry about it because it's $100 gun, But 22 do most of your jobs. Anyways, so I got it and I ran back there, and sure enough, he's still down there just kind of mean mugging me, And I was pretty upset because he got my rooster. And anyway, so I shot him and stuff like that in the head, and then he just kind of laid over and was bleeding out there for a little bit. And, I hate killing anything, I love birds and shit like that and stuff like that. But I always protect my own animals. Whether if it's chickens, possums are my favorite animal. Them or cats, it's hard to say. I love both. But I caught a possum in the chicken coop one time, so I shot it. I just do that. I take care of my shit, and I've ran off other cats and dogs and stuff like that. That's come up here whooping on my cat whenever she's alive and stuff. I always put them first. And I seen some feathers of a different color. So presumably what had happened was that hawk was trying to get one of the hens, and then the rooster ran up there. And I mean, it's pretty sweet, but he gave his life to defend her, the best that I could tell, kind of from what I'd seen there. And, RIP homie there, protecting one of his hens and stuff like that. So, uh, can't blame him for that. Usually I'll cut the legs and head off the chickens and stuff if they die, and keep those. But with him, like I say, his entire back was like laid open and like bloody and stuff where he got attacked and like then eating on him and stuff. And so I just took care of him and stuff like that. I just let him whole. I didn't cut him up or anything like that to keep that. But sorry if all this is weird or people don't agree with this or whatever, but it's what I do. And so I've just got like chicken feet kind of laying around everywhere, as weird as that may be, whatever. But the heads, sometimes I don't fuck with them because you got to lay them, and then the maggots usually eat them out, and it's just, and then something else, they'll disappear for whatever the fuck reason, right? Even ones I've had laying around for fucking forever, it's weird. I can hardly ever get them to go to a skull before they just disappear. But feet usually ain't too bad though. I can hang around them or keep them kind of hung around and stuff. But anyway, so I shot that hawk and got him out there, and it's pretty good size. I mean, the wings all spread out and stuff like that. You kind of pull them up and stuff. And I did keep his carcass. I've got it in a spot that we sometimes take things that we want to decay and be unbothered. Got an armadillo down there now, which armadillos are not technically here and you never see them is fucking weird, right? Of course, found that one dead. Somebody ran it over. But on our road, it's crazy. Of course, armadillos decayed out by now. This is back in the summer, you know. But yeah, anyways, though, so that's what happens. Pretty fucking crazy. RIP the Rooster, you know, like I say, presumably, for what I could tell, anyways, gave his life to protect the hen, you know, which was, it's kind of their thing, you know, so kind of avenged him on that, and that way Hawk won't be coming back and getting any more of the hens and stuff like that. Because like I say, I did have that little debate there for a minute, like, hey, he's already got the rooster, should I get him? And it's, but then again, it's like, well, now he knows there's chickens here and he's gonna hang around here, you know, and stuff. And then chickens are kind of helpless here now. I mean, we got a guinea and stuff that likes running shit off a little bit, but I don't think they fuck with hawks much, you know. And they're more just assholes than anything. They don't really have like a true defense mechanism, but we did have some chickens way before we had these here. We just had a few and had like a little run in our backyard and stuff. Well, actually where I'm at now, just kind of set up. And we just had like half a dozen chickens. They slowly kind of got picked off and stuff like that because they only had like a little bitty doghouse type thing to go in. And we had 2 hens there that was left for the longest time. And they were Rhode Island Red breeds and stuff. And anyways, I always tell the story because I've heard some people say this and some people think you're crazy. But like the transgenderism or whatever will happen in real life. Like, because one of those hens started like going more into like a rooster form. It was so it kind of like became the rooster. And this had happened like, you know, we had the rooster for a while, died off, and then, you know, about a year-ish. I can't remember the exact timeline, so don't quote me on that part. But one of the hens became the rooster, so then we had a rooster and a hen, and then eventually the hen passed, and then that rooster that had transgendered and had become our only one that we had there for a while. So we just had the rooster, and it was like crowing and everything, you know. So I mean, it's pretty neat that that shit does happen, like in the wild, I guess, you know, or whatever. And yeah, I only ever heard, I think, 1 or 2 other people that's had chickens talk about it, you know. So I don't know if this is a thing that always happens or just sometimes happens, but it's pretty interesting to note. But anyways, it's getting about dark. I'm freezing to death. I've got to run down here and look for something real quick and get the wood brought in. I've already got it pulled up to the house. Just got to throw it inside this little tub we keep for the wood and stuff. And go in there and try to snuggle up and chill. I may make one other video. Fuck. I've got some other shit I didn't get to cover in this one either. Anyways, whatever though. Hope y'all have a good one if anybody watches this. And I'll just go ahead and make this other one real quick.